Hey, what time is it?
It's chit chat time.
It's Chick Chat time. Welcome if you've joined us. We got to dance in today. This time the music worked, but it worked really well. So if you are joining us, please say hello. Welcome to Chick Chat. Casey.
What?
Casey's in the house. So, all right. So, how are you, Heather? How's it going?
It's going good. It's a
Going
beautiful
good.
150-degree day here in Kansas
150 degrees.
City.
Oh my.
It's really not. I think it was only like 88, but it felt like 150.
Well, hey, if you've joined us and you're ready for an adult beverage, are you ready?
Yep. Clink.
Chink. That's the Chick Chat Casey Chink. Say that. That's like,
Yep, exactly.
it's like,
All of it.
how can we say this? Hey, Mary. Mary's in the house. Oh, Virginia Beach is in the house.
Oh, we forgot
Hey.
to do our challenge.
Oh my gosh, you forgot about our challenge.
Oh,
Whoever
man.
gets the most people, like me for Virginia Beach / Norfolk / Yorktown / Hampton Roads versus her and her
913-918-405, baby.
Hey, all right. Teresa is in the house. She's from Virginia Beach. Ha!
Come on, where
We
my
are
peeps
rocking
at?
it now. We are rocking it. You got your drinks, gals? Mary. And then there's Michael from P-Town, Hampton Roads. Oh man, I'm wiping it up right now. I'm wiping it up. So cheers, everybody. Welcome. Welcome. So we are so glad you guys joined us because we have a lot to talk about this evening. And it's stuff just like daily life stuff. That's what we're talking about. Chick chat. We're just chatting. We are both life coaches and we want to help you along with anything if you want us to, or we're just going to chat and we're having fun. So that's what this is about. So I met Heather in Kansas City. That's why it's called Chick Chat KC, because there are other chick chats out there. And so you don't have to be a chick to join us. And Michael, thank you for joining us. He's not a chick. So that's awesome. And Teresa's got her drink. All right. Again, here we go, Heather. Heather. Gotta go this way. Chink.
Bing.
Chink. Her glass is bigger than mine. It's kind of not fair. So we are going to talk about boundaries tonight. And boundaries is a great topic of discussion because some people, when you say boundaries, some people don't even know what we're talking about. They don't even know that you have to have those in relationships. In my 50 plus years, I've met people that don't understand boundaries. They don't know boundaries. And that's why they're kind of going through life kind of like not doing so well because they kind of interfere or cross over boundaries that shouldn't be crossed over. And what is a boundary? It's where I end and you begin, or you begin and I end. So that's what the boundary is. Like it can be personal space, it can be emotional space, it can just be in all relationships, right? So hey, Tammy's in the house.
Tammy. What up, 913 right
913, you got one. You got one. And I know her too, so I don't know.
Go back under my glasses.
Yeah, Tammy. I mean, Tammy's got some great glasses out there. But what we're going to talk about is you have to have boundaries in all relationships, right? So friendships, have you ever had a friendship that seemed like it was really like emotionally draining? And maybe you didn't know. And when we're younger, we don't understand, helping someone out or being there for somebody can absolutely cross your boundaries. Like you can actually not know that you're supposed to have them because you're like, well, I have to be nice to everybody, or you're a people pleaser. So you have no boundaries. Like I believe in that. Hey, if you call me at 2 a.m., I'll be there for you. Now, am I going to be there for you at 2 a.m. every night? No.
Nope.
No. I mean, if you do it once, right? Okay. Right. Maybe even twice. I mean, we've done that. Or pick up the phone call because, you're feeling down and you need to chat with somebody. I think that is totally appropriate. But if it causes interference in your own life, as far as going to save someone, and it really puts you out, that's really crossing over a boundary. So, I had to learn the balance in that a long time ago, because some of us out there we do want to help everyone, and so we kind of don't know how to turn that off or how to navigate that. So Heather, for you, can you think of a time that someone crossed your boundary or you recognized you had to put up the boundary? Is there an instance of any of that you recall?
Yeah. I mean, in my last relationship, there was a lot of that. And I think the biggest misunderstanding is people think boundaries are you trying to change them, but the boundary really has nothing to do with them. If this is the boundary, this is my expectation, and you don't have to change to meet that expectation. But if you're not willing to, you just can't stay. It's kind of like you're allowed to come in my playground, but you have to abide by my rules, or you have to go play somewhere else. Like you can't. It's not that you're trying to change that person necessarily. You're just saying this is what I'm willing to accept and what I'm not. And if they don't respect that, then you then have to choose what your next step is. And I think for me, I spent a lot of times laying the boundaries down, but then I just didn't do anything when they didn't, respect the boundary. They just kept crossing it. I'm like, oh, whoops.
So right. If somebody doesn't respect your boundaries, they're not respecting you, and that feels like that they're not respecting you, and that, we do our best in trying to communicate and saying, I need this, or I want us to establish these bounds of the boundary, right? Like, I mean, it's fine, to help people, but it's not fine if they're taking advantage of your help and they keep crossing that and expecting, more from you than you can give, and I feel like it's really hard, even in motherhood, like, and parenting, or Tammy's right. Or they get mad at you for having boundaries, and that happens a lot, that they get angry because they don't understand that that's a healthy thing to do, is to put up a boundary. It's to establish a healthy relationship. It's to establish, again, a respect level, right? I mean,
and if they get mad, that's them saying, I don't respect your boundary.
That's right.
Then
hey, Trina. Hey, 757 again. Yeah.
Blah, 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 blah.
Hi, Trina. Thank you for joining. I appreciate it. Have a good work evening. So, yes. So, that's a problem, with parents too. Like where does, I think about a time way back when a friend of mine, and they used to let their child sleep in their bed every night. So that was a boundary. At first it was fine, and it was, okay, because it helped to comfort the child. But at whatever point, then those parents didn't have boundaries anymore with their child. And guess what happened? As the child, developed, guess what they were? They were a little clingy and had attachment issues, So as parents, it's really important to kind of put the ground, level there. I didn't let my kids sleep with me in my bed, but I would let them, if they were sick or something on the couch, I would bring them out to the couch and lay, I mean, that's different. But I know there's a lot of, I watched a documentary about that, about parents that let their kids sleep in their bed till they were grown, like teenagers, you know? Yes. Yes.
Nope.
And some child psychologists were saying that that was okay because it was helping the child to feel safe. And I was like, wow, okay. That's interesting, but yeah, sometimes people don't understand the boundaries, and communication would help with understanding. I agree with that. If you're not communicating what your boundary is, and also sometimes with boundaries, we can be too boundaried up, right? You could have so many boundaries that then you can be determined that you're emotionally unavailable. You can look emotionally unavailable, but usually we put boundaries that strong up because of trauma. So trauma plays into that. But going back to the children, it's really up to us as parents to make the child feel safe without having to be in our physical sleeping space.
Right.
Do they, you can do other things to help them to feel safe, right?
Well, I feel like at some point, if you're, and again, my kids never co-slept. I didn't do that. So I'm speaking on something I don't know much about. I know a lot of my nieces, they do that. But to me, it feels like that would have some effect on your marriage as well as
right
the children. So I don't know. I'm not sure. I'm not sure my opinion on that, other than it didn't. I chose not to do it, and my kids slept in their own bed from very young.
Mm-hmm.
My oldest.
So what do you guys think out there? I mean, did you let your child sleep with you, or did you have a harder time? Did they have a harder time transitioning? And that's what I was watching, when I saw this documentary. It was talking about that those children did have a harder time, not being attached to their parent. They were having attachment issues, separation anxiety. So, you have to be, it's a fine line, isn't it? It's kind of like, but that's the same thing with any relationship, with friendships, with relationships, love interests, how do you set those boundaries? And what Michael said is communication. Communication is key, right? I mean, you can put a boundary up and talk about it and say, listen, here's what I need. What is it that you need? Here's how I want to frame this. What do you think about that?
And I had a friend the other day that was talking about how, he was upset with his wife and blah, blah, blah. And I said, well, so you're voicing to me that you're upset. Have you told her? And he's like, well, no. Well, how do you expect her to know you're upset if you don't tell her? And how do you expect her to fix the problem if you don't communicate with her that you're upset? Yeah. Well, I've told her before. Well, you still have to have open communication on your boundaries. And if that is a boundary and she's not respecting it, you still have to communicate at some level until you decide you don't. And if you don't, you've told her 14 times and she's still not respecting that boundary. Again, it comes back to your choice of how you handle it.
Well, what I also see in my own personal experience is, it can be even, kind of passed down as a parent, from parent to child, and just how they didn't have the correct boundaries, parent and child, and, I don't know about you, but I mean, I tell my kids a lot, but I don't tell them everything about my relationships. And sometimes they're a little upset with me about that, but I'm like, you were a child. I was a parent. You didn't need to know the details of something that was adult. And so that was really hard for them to understand. In fact, one of my sons is still mad at me about that. And I said, I'm not going to tell you, you were a child. I wasn't going to tell you, XYZ, because it really wasn't your business.
Right. Yeah.
Because, well, I would have understood some things better. And I said, yes, but it still was an adult problem that you couldn't solve as a child. So I think us just recognizing that, and I know there are other relationships where the parents tell their kids everything, and it's just how you do it. I don't think, and I'm not saying that that's wrong,
Right.
that I did it correctly, because like I said, my son's mad at me over
Well,
not telling him now.
I
Yeah,
think everyone has their own version of a boundary. What you think is okay for you and not okay for you is different
that's
than what
right.
I think is okay for me and what's not okay for me.
That's
So
right.
you can't judge what your boundaries are because they're yours.
Right. But I think it's important, like, say, in a friendship, even saying, hey, listen, I'm not going to call you every single day to check on you. Is that okay in our friendship? Or can we
Right.
still be friends with us not doing that?
Yeah.
Is that okay? I think it goes without saying sometimes, but I think it's important that we do communicate that. I think you and I are like that as friends. I know that you're there for me, and I hope I'm there for you, but we don't
Right.
talk to each other every day.
Yeah.
It just all depends on the people that are involved. So the boundaries can be different, for, like you're saying, it can be very unique in every single relationship you have. Some people do need more of your time, or they want more of your time, and they need to communicate that, right? So
Right.
yes, you need to be secure in communication. Not knowing how the other may react is a risk one takes. Yes, you're right, Mary. And thank you for commenting. So, and we know, other people, you can feel them out. Like they say, read the room. If you can read the room and know that your one friend she needs a little more encouragement, or she needs a little more communication, and saying, listen, I'm not ignoring you, I'm just really busy. um, those kind of things do help with relationships.
Yeah.
But having that boundary is to keep you both safe, right? And to not bleed into one another, not to bounce off of each other's emotions, even, and that kind of thing. So
Yeah.
I mean, Heather, how do you keep your boundaries now with your adult children? Because now that they've transitioned from kids to maybe adults, has it changed for you, or?
I think it's changed. I think it's I'm still figuring it out because they haven't been adults that long. So I think in the beginning, especially with my oldest, because we've always told each other everything for the most part. I think in the beginning it was like, Mom, those are things you don't need to tell me. Okay, cool, got it. But you're just in regular, like
Right.
she used to go out with all of us ladies. And one night she's like, I'm done. I'm like, you guys do your girls' night out. I don't want to be, because there's just some things that come up she doesn't want to know. And that was her boundary. Like, I'm going to go ahead and stay with my friends, and you go do girls' night with your friends because y'all are crazy and I don't want to know all the stuff you talk about. So that was her putting down her boundary. So now I know that there are things that parts of my life she doesn't want to know. And obviously, she's married and there's parts of her life I don't want to know. And so we've established those boundaries. And I try to really stay out of her life unless I'm asked, because it's not my life. It's not my marriage. It's not my job. It's not my family. So I try to be very cognizant of those boundaries, even if she hasn't necessarily spoken about them.
Right.
So that I don't cross over. And when she asks me things, I go, okay, that's something she's letting me in. So, make a mental note of that. The younger one, we're still figuring it out. I mean, she just turned 18. She just graduated high school. She thinks she's a grown up. She's kind of a grown up, but it's still, we're still figuring that part out.
Yeah. Cause she's still finding her way. She's still finding who she is, exactly. Going through all that, I remember that around that time, really trying to figure out who I was,
Yeah. And that's kind of where I'm at too, because this is the first time I haven't had a child here to take care of or be responsible for. And so I'm trying to figure out now who I am what are my boundaries in my relationships without my kids.
Yeah. Yeah. I think, who is it? I was listening to somebody the other day who said, well, I'm fine with boundaries. I just need a director.
Well, yeah.
I was laughing at that so hard. I was like, that's a really good way to put it. I'm good with the boundaries. It's just, I need a little help with direction,
And I think if people can go at it with the mindset of not thinking that a boundary is about changing me, maybe we can get further. instead of everyone saying, oh, well, they're trying to change who I am. No, you can be who you are. I just might not be here.
Yeah.
Good luck.
Well, you can be who you are, and we can have the grace to allow people to be who they are, but if it starts to impede on your personal space and your, things that you have to do, then that's when you have to, put a distance, an arm's length,
Yeah. If your boundary, if you not respecting my boundary is toxic to me, then I have to make a choice to leave.
Right. Now, when you do that, do you tell them?
Absolutely. I mean, in my experience, the conversation was had multiple times, and yeah, there again, I wasn't great at keeping my, respecting my own boundaries at that point in my life. I am now. I mean, recently I had to put a boundary down, and the person said, I don't agree with that. I'm not going to do it. So I had to walk away.
Right.
But I didn't used to be good at that at all. Oh, okay. Well, I'm just going to keep telling you, but I'm not going to do anything about it when you don't respect the boundary. So why would you respect the boundary?
Well, it's showing that other person that you respect yourself as well. Right. It's like, you respect them and you tried to convey that to them and they just kept not respecting you. Right. And so that's when you finally say, okay, I respect myself more, And
I think when you figure out, when you find your worth, it's easier to make your boundaries stick.
Right. Exactly. Bingo. I totally believe that. Let's see.
Hey, Grace.
So, hi, Grace. Nice to see you. So, one of my mom's favorite saying was, a woman marries a man to change him, and a man marries a woman and prays she doesn't. Right. Well, I think, when we're young and we're kind of, in that new space, we do have hopes and dreams, and maybe that person, well, maybe they'll change, it's possible,
potential.
Maybe maybe, but, I think about that for myself too. I wasn't, I don't think a man was able to change me either. So I've always been who I am. Yes. Yeah. Chris. Yeah. And she's not from Kansas City. She's from St. Louis, and she's my cousin. So does she count to be on my side?
I think she's close. we'll let you have her. I mean, I don't think it matters at this point.
Change with our children as relationship changes from parent and child to mutual adults. Oh, I love that. Yeah. That's true.
I would agree with that.
Yeah, I got to watch my son with his daughter, and I've got to walk away. At first I was like, what? He doesn't want my, I was offended at first. I was like, he doesn't want my advice. And, he would say something. I'd be like, you're right. 'Cause I've never parented before. And so I realized, but now I realize he was putting up a boundary. He was doing it the healthy way. Actually, he was actually communicating with me like, Mom, I got this. I don't need your help. And I was taking it offended, oh, you're right. I've never been a parent before, and now I realize, as it's gone on, that yes, he's correct. And what's great is that I can actually just walk away. Like, oh, she's throwing a tantrum. Okay, bye. Yep. Gigi's got to go do whatever.
Yep. I'm out. Bye.
You do that. You deal with that, son. So I mean, that's a good. Those are the positive parts of having that boundary. Is I didn't go into mom role. I went into Gigi role, which was peace out. So,
not my problem.
Yeah. So I mean, it's funny to navigate your way, but I think in any relationship, any new relationship, any old relationship, I think we have to revisit boundaries. I think we do. I think we just expect a relationship to continue on the way it was. But, as you're changing, I'm changing, we have to reset. Yeah. So I feel like our boundaries change, just like she was saying, they change with the growing of them, the growing of us. I mean, there would have been a day, maybe even only 15 years ago, that I was such a people pleaser that I didn't have any boundaries. I had none.
3 years ago for me.
Yeah. I wanted to just please everyone. I wanted everyone to be happy with me. And
Right.
it was to the detriment of my own personal life. It was the detriment. I mean, and then I wondered after the end of all of that, like, how come I don't have any friends? How come I don't have anybody to support me and help me? And it was because I didn't set the right boundaries up with those people, in the first place. And I became a codependent. So
Right.
that's what happens with codependency is those boundaries are never set. And you're just depleted and you're sitting back there going, well, I gave all these people all these things. How can they not reciprocate? Well, because you didn't set it up that way. You didn't do the proper things. And Heather, when I first met you, you're good. You were good with boundaries. You were good with saying what you want and what you don't want, and that's really what it comes down to is saying what you want and what you don't want. I want it like this. And like you said, that person said, no, I don't want to follow how you want this. And you said, okay, well, peace out. I got it for my own personal, sanity or peace. You had to put that boundary up. So what do you guys think? And thank you guys for sharing all of your comments, because I totally agree with what you guys are saying. So when has it been a hard time for you to put up a boundary?
Oh, I think it's been the hardest one was with family.
With family?
Yeah.
Because you just wanted to help them, or just
because I think that we in our mind, we think, you cannot be friends with people. You can break up from a bad relationship, but in our minds, we tend to think they're family. So we're stuck with them, and we're not.
Right.
If you have someone that continually doesn't respect your boundaries and leaves you feeling a way that's just not okay, you do have the right to be done with family. And
right.
I've had to make that choice, and it sucks, but I think that was the hardest one. For 30 years, I was in a situation where my boundaries were not being respected. And I finally said, you know what? I'm done. I think that was the hardest one, though.
Yeah, I bet. Because they're your family, they think, well, we're family. You're going to be in their lives forever. So,
yeah.
Well, Michael's saying, well, it's hard with someone if the boundary is not explained. And that's another key of how people communicate. If there's a breakdown in communication, or if it's funny, we assume things, right? Sometimes we assume other people know our boundaries. Some people, sometimes we assume we've clarified that maybe, and maybe we haven't. So,
well, I think sometimes we have, but that person doesn't want to hear that boundary. And so they keep saying like, oh, well, I didn't, you weren't clear, but you really were. They didn't want to hear it.
I have to agree with that too.
I don't want to have to abide by that boundary, because that means that I'm going to have to change and I don't want to, or they're going to leave or whatever. And so really clear. He wasn't super clear. So I'm just going to ignore it, and maybe she'll be more clear next time, or maybe he'll forget about it or whatever.
Right.
It was communicated, maybe just not, you didn't receive it.
Right. So we were going to go into this and talk about in the dating relationships. And I'm thinking about the term ghosting. Ghosting is actually, I mean, I feel like when people ghost each other, I just find that so, not flattering. I mean, when people do that, I can't believe that people our age do that. Like, it just astounds me that it happens.
Believe people our age do a lot of things in dating. I mean,
yes. I mean,
this is the whole show topic.
At first I thought, oh, that ghosting thing must be just for the, younger generations. And absolutely no, it's for all of it. And what it is that you didn't even get far enough into that, relationship. I don't even know if you'd call it a relationship, but that exchange enough to put up a boundary to say, hey, listen, if you're not in, and I used to say this in my first dates, I'd be like, hey, listen, if we're not a match, it's cool. It's fine. Just let me know, don't, you know, I thought ghosting is just like, I think it's a chicken way. I just do. I think it's a person that's not, they just don't respect, they don't respect the dating space. Like they just are not respecting, I don't know if they think they have so many, other opportunities that they don't have to respect that. That's possible, but it's just disrespectful to themselves, really. Because the next time you see that person, like say you ran into that person, what are you going to think about them? I don't even think they think that it matters, I guess.
Well, I think that we first have to define the definition of ghosting and at what point you can ghost somebody. I see people all the time are like, we talked for 2 weeks before we ever even met and he ghosted me. If you haven't, in my mind, if you haven't even had a date yet, they didn't ghost you. They just weren't interested.
Right.
That's
how do you define that? But right. Ghosting is just like going, just
but if you haven't even been on a first date, you're really not invested. You don't owe them anything. They don't owe you anything. You've never met.
Yeah.
So I think that's where people get hung up on.
So you think it's okay to ghost?
I don't think it's ghosting if you've never been on a date. You've never met the person. I don't think that's ghosting. I think that's trial period.
Well, I've seen it that where people have actually met and also
and I think
going
that's
out
different.
And then all of a sudden, poof, the person was gone. But like you're saying, that means they're not interested.
Right.
But why don't they just say that? Like, what is it about our culture now? What is it about today's that people can't just go, okay, it's not going to work out.
Let's not even, I don't even know how to get started on this topic. But I think that if you take people's keyboard away, they don't have much to say. They don't give you their opinion. I think that people hide behind their keyboard. And I've had several people that you go on a date and then you get the text later.
Yeah.
Well, there was not a connection. Okay, then why didn't you say that on the date when you tried to kiss me and there was no connection or whatever,
right.
So I think
you thought there was enough connection for a physical connection.
I hope that person's not watching. But anyway, I think that I think that in the dating world where people are too sensitive, we have too many expectations right out of the gate. And I think that we just need to chill out and relax because it is the instant gratification of the online dating. If you text me and or message me and I don't respond in 5.2 seconds, you've moved on to the next person. That's just the way it is. I have personally gone back to the old school way of I'm going to meet you out and about. I'm not doing online anything. I'm going to meet you out and about. I'm going to see what you actually look like, how you're interacting with people, how the connection is between the two of us. And if that means I only go on one date a year, then so be it.
Exactly. Hi, Isabel. Thanks for joining. So no, I agree with what Michael said. If you're not interested, you're not interested. Tell them. Like you just don't keep it, I just ran into that a lot, grimy.
Yeah.
Must be the ghosting part. Yeah. The dating life. Yeah. The dating life. It's so funny. People that have been married or have not been in this dating world, they wouldn't believe it. It doesn't look anything like what we ever experienced. There used to be a social stigma that if, so-and-so is talking to so-and-so, they like each other or, whatever. Now, like you said, the people just don't care. Like they just don't.
No, nope. And I think
it's the equivalent of being hung up on in a phone conversation, rude and immature. I agree with that. It is rude and it's immature. Now, confession, I've done it a couple times.
No, you have.
I've done it a couple times in my dating life early on. And it was because I didn't have the courage at the time. I was kind of coming into this like place of finally understanding who I was and in getting that confidence level. But I got the confidence level so much that I was like, I don't need to tell them, they don't know me. They don't care, And so So at some point that shifted. I mean, that was just in the very beginning, but it was because I was being taught that by them. Like they were teaching me that ghosting was okay. So at first I thought that was just the culture. That's what we were doing. I was like, oh, is this what we're doing?
I mean, it kind of is. It kind of is.
Is this what we're doing? We're doing this ghosting thing.
Ghosting, it's hook up. It's, I mean, like I said, I'm going to do an entire podcast on dating because it's ridiculous, but
it really is. It really.
I think we just have to, anyone that I know that's recently single that starts dating, I just tell them, take it for what it is. Otherwise you're going to be miserable. You can't take everyone as a personal hit to you.
No.
And I see people that are constantly like, oh my God,
you can't get offended
again. No.
Yeah.
Next.
You can't, yeah. Don't get attached. It's called early attachment. Do not get attached. There's
you don't even know them. What are you attached to? You don't know
attachment. Them. And you need to figure out what type of attachment person you are. Because if you're in the unhealthy zone, you shouldn't be out there dating at all. I mean, there are a couple friends of mine. I've said, you are not ready to date in this culture right now because it will, yes, your self-esteem will come out worse than when you started. And, and what's crazy is it doesn't anymore. It really doesn't have to do with looks. It doesn't, you don't even know what it has to do with. I mean, honestly, it's so like nondescript. It's just kind of like, okay. I mean, I started, well, my story in the dating, but anyway.
Should we?
Okay. So Chuck's going to add, he's got quite the comment here. We went out once, twice a week and texted daily. Then she just stopped responding. I still don't know why, but not long after I met a woman who I'm now engaged to. So April, thank you for ghosting me. Oh, that's nice.
Exactly.
That's
the best way to look at it.
That is the best way because what's supposed to be will be, right?
And when one door closes, another one opens. So
that's right.
Have to
if it was meant to be, it will be. And so, yeah, I mean, I think that's awesome, and you're right. You don't know why, people, that's what's so strange is like, you think you have a connection and then bam, they're gone, so weird. But a guy I had went out with in my early dating said, well, think of it like billboards, like everybody's dating profile is a billboard. And so you're driving along and you're like, oh yeah, I like that billboard. And then you like that one and you like that one and you like that one. Well, then there's other people looking at your billboard, right? And they're looking at your billboard and they're like, oh, I like that one. Well, they're going to like focus in on you, but here you've got, 7 billboards open, right? Like,
I don't like any of the billboards.
Like, well, that's what I'm saying. So it's hard these days because there's a misconception that you have many opportunities, which is not the truth at all. In fact,
the misconception is there's always something better waiting, and
they're not, because that person that you're going to go after may not like you at all. You might not match up. Might not match up. In many areas, you don't know that. So you might have missed a person that could have been the perfect person for you. So I believe in divine intervention there.
I believe my guy is lost. His GPS is broken. And at some point he will find me, and I'm not stressing about it too much, but I think I do believe I already know him. I just don't know exactly who he is.
But he's got your password. No more passwords? No, that's good.
No,
I'm glad.
No more secret words.
No more secret words.
Yeah,
she had a password. She knew as the guy if he knows her password. So I just always went, okay. What if they just accidentally say it?
He did, and it wasn't him.
And it wasn't him. Right. Whoops. I mean, I don't know. Don't make a password. I don't think that's smart.
No,
because it can be hacked into.
Yeah. No, I think that
says still need a safety word. Well, yeah, I think the safety word is boundaries.
Amber, I told you I don't want to need a safe word.
A safe word.
Yeah, so I think it all boils down to we I've been dating, what, 3 years, almost 3 years now, on and off. I think that my conclusion is that anyone that's not anyone, a majority of people over 40, they don't want to get married or have kids again. So they're just hooking up. It's a hookup
Yeah.
culture. And there's very few that want relationships. So
yeah.
If you're not a hookup person, here we sit.
Well, and I'm just going to glean in on my personal experience of healing is, there are certain things that you think that you're ready for something, and then something comes up, and then you kind of go regress, and it takes you backwards. So by our age, we've went through a lot of stuff, right? I mean, we've been through lots of stuff, right? Most of us. If we're on our second or third major relationship, that's ended. If we're dating right now, that's what's happened. We've at least been through 2 or 3 major impactful in your life relationships. And depending on how those were, depends on how you're doing, and you just have to remember those people's traumas and brokenness is hitting yours. So, trying to match that up is really, really difficult. I have to say it's definitely not for the weary.
No, and I feel like, and I'm guilty of this up until this point in my life. You go from one relationship into another relationship, into another one, and you never heal from the previous ones. And then you've got so much, it's an overnight bag. You've got so much baggage. You can't, the two of you have 12 suitcases. Right. It's not likely going to work out.
Right. Exactly.
So that's why I've taken the time this time to heal all the other. I'm just trying to get down to an overnight bag.
Can I just have an overnight bag? Okay, Mary, what are you trying to say? Okay, Philadelphia. Yeah, I remember that festival. I don't know what she's bringing it up for, but okay.
What y'all do on that festival?
We got snowed in, actually. We got snowed in. Okay. Yeah, it was fun. And this is why communication is key. And that's true. Sure. If you're saying, hey, listen, this is bumping up against my stuff, that's important for you to say it. Hey, right. This was a trigger. This was a thing. Yeah. And that's when you go introspective, right?
Right.
That's why it's really important that we're not accusing and blaming others for our behaviors, or, we have to go introspective and figuring out, okay, what just happened there? Why did we react that way? Well, there's some places that you think you've healed, and sometimes it opens it up. That doesn't mean that you're the same person. Like we're always evolving. We're always evolving. So, right. Every day is closer to your healing, but you have to you have to sit with it yourself. You can't, you really do have to make an effort in yourself to try to get that healing. You can't blame others, and you can't expect another person to make you happy. You have to make you happy, and I think that's in the dating world, that was the other issue, is that people think, oh, if I meet the right guy right now, it's going to make my whole life happy. Well, that doesn't realistically happen that way, does it?
If you're not happy single, you're not going to be happy with somebody.
Right. And people don't know other people, they say for 18 months, right? They say 18 months, you don't get to know the full person. And, if there's any flags, masks, whatever, you figure that out by 18 months. That's what I've read. And so, I mean, you figure that out, and in 18 months, you can evolve a lot, if you're not bumping up against, each other's, insecurities, self-esteem, brokenness, I mean, I tell you, our age group, it's tough.
Well, and I think,
this is being real. This is for real. Like,
we all have
not going to gloss it over. It's not, another person isn't going to make you happy. It's you that makes you happy.
No, you have to spend a lot of time with yourself and be happy with yourself and date yourself. And I think that when you do get into a relationship,
or dogs, or you get dogs.
Oh,
or you get dogs. She's got 2 male dogs. They keep her in check.
Need to go home.
Huh?
I think if you get into a relationship and there are things you think you've worked on and then something triggers you, I think it's just really important to say to your partner, hey, that triggered me and I'm working on it. So I'm asking for some grace that you let me work on this, instead of then shooting back at them. Well, you did this to trigger me. And no.
Right.
You know, that's what I said about my last relationship, where I would say, well, he made me blah, blah, blah. No, he didn't. I chose to do blah, blah, blah. And so I had to take responsibility for that part of it, because I always had the option of walking away.
Right.
So I think, again, goes back to what we said, communication and being able to say, like, this is my stuff and I own that. And I'm asking you give me a little bit of grace to realize, you know, like you said, introspect and figure out why that triggered me, so that I can continue working on it.
That's right.
You're not going to heal overnight.
So guys, and so Michael says doggies. He likes doggies.
You want them?
Don't ask him. He would actually come to Kansas to get them. I'm positive of it.
They're very sweet dogs.
So who's winning? I have another 757 in the house.
I'm pretty sure you're winning, because we forgot that we have to do it when we announce it.
Yes, Izzy. I love accountability. Yes, accountability is key. So yes, take responsibility for your emotions. You have to take, right. That's why you have to look inside here and not blaming others, pointing to others. You know, I try to really use those I statements. I totally understand that. I used to think, oh, we're going to talk about I statements. I statements are huge, because that is you taking responsibility and you saying, I feel, I think, and not trying to project onto the other person.
Right.
If they don't mean what you're interpreting, that they can clarify. Right.
Yeah, and I've tried to really be cognizant of the wording, like instead of saying you made me feel blah, 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 changing that around, you know, that makes me feel like that, whatever. You know, instead of, it's not the person that makes you feel that way, because you can only feel that way if you let yourself feel that way.
That's right. That's right. That is
right. Wow. all the way.
That's right. And you know, us in the, you know, if we all try to work on that healthiness, you know, then we can be happy with each other, you know, being happy in me and you being happy in you, and then 2 entities are happy. And so it creates a wonderful, wonderful energy of happiness.
I've heard. I mean, I don't know. I'm trusting that someday I will experience.
I think it can happen. I'm hopeful. I'm hopeful.
I think it can too. I have not.
And I think that's the other thing, is don't give up hope. Like, that is the other thing. Don't give up hope. Keep living your life and keep setting your goals and keep going for the gusto in your own space and your own self. And you're going to be amazed at what comes to you. Right. Like,
yeah. Cause if you keep saying there's no good men out there, there's no good women out there, that's what you're going to attract.
That's right.
You have to say, you know, I'm very, very hopeful, and I believe there are amazing men out there. One of them is for me. I just haven't found him yet.
Right. And you have to look back at some of those, relationships that you had. You know, it's never 50-50, right? Both sides working on yourself. Exactly. I don't like that, you know, you complete me, you know, 2 halves make a whole. No, 2 wholes make a universe. Okay. So 2 holes make a wonderful universe. You know, think of the planet.
Yeah.
There are 2 holes.
And it's, you know, it's also being willing that on the day that I can only bring, you know, if we're both bringing 100%, but on one day he can only bring 75, I need to be able to step up and bring the extra 25, you know, for that day. And
it
vice
is a
versa.
learning process. Yeah. It's a learning process. But if you're willing to learn, if you're willing, she's going 2 holes. Yeah. Donut holes? No.
That's my coach, y'all, right there. That's my coach.
Well, but as you can tell, I think of us as planets, right? You know, like like we're planets in this universe. We have to be, you know, I mean, there's a lot of things that go with that. You know, I really feel like we're always evolving, we're always learning, we're always growing. And as long as you accept that in somebody else, that is going to be, you're happy, right?
Yeah.
Acceptance is a lot. Yes, as long as the communication is there, learning is easy. Communication is key. Yep, that's the goal. Yep. So we went from setting those boundaries, but maybe that's your first step of being happy. Maybe you've not set any boundaries for yourself ever. Maybe you've never let anyone else set a boundary with you. You know, maybe you're just bound, you know, whatever boundaries. Those are the people that you're gonna have that impact on every toxic person that comes in your life because you haven't set the right boundaries. So if you need guidance in any of that, you know, Heather or I are here for you to help you. If you need to, you know, learn how to stay strong in it, you know, have the encouragement to keep going, you know, even after the pitfalls, because there's pitfalls, you know, I mean, we try and we fail, right? I mean, but you have to keep trying. You have to keep going, you know. Hey, Lance. Now he's not from 757 or 913. So now what are we going to do?
He's just
nice to see you, Lance. So, yep.
No means no.
Yeah. All right. Well, I can't believe it, but we only have 9 more minutes left, if you can believe that.
So you know what that means?
That means that we're transitioning into fun time. Okay, get your adult beverage. Hello.
Oh,
I have to go the right way. Can you go the right way?
Yep.
Okay, you guys ready for the Chick Chat Casey Chink? Chink. Chink. So, all right. So, cheers to you all. Thank you guys for joining us, and thank you for this exciting topics and all of your comments. We really appreciate that. But we're going into fun time. And since it's so fun, you can't tell, but I have a flamingo dress on that I was getting before I moved to Florida, and then I never moved there. So here's my light up flamingos, you know, because I'm just so crazy. And so we want to know your sunglass style. So, okay,
and what is your, what got the loved ones on. Yeah, what do your sunglasses say about you? These are my love glasses.
What does your sunglasses say about you? So you've got your love.
My love glasses.
She got her love glasses on. And me, let's see. Are you guys doing this? I got my cat eyes. Got my cat eyes going on. When I'm wearing these, it's really bright out. I'm in the sun. That says a lot about me.
It's not bright out. These are actually my Justin Bieber glasses. We wore these to the Justin Bieber concert.
Justin Bieber. Yeah. All right. Okay. What does it say about you?
I love Justin Bieber.
Okay. What's next? That you love Justin. Okay, Justin Bieber.
The next ones would be the Too Cool for School glasses.
Too cool for school. Okay. I'm gonna yeah. These are my bougie glasses. These are the Rockstar ones, right? Too cool for school.
But you're supposed to put the other ones on now.
Oh shoot! Too cool for school. You mean? Oh goodness gracious! Lance says his makes him a cut. Okay, there we go. This is my I love Tom Cruise glasses.
Yeah.
Sorry. I messed up. I messed up on our practice.
That's okay.
I'm sorry.
That's okay.
This is my Top Gun I love Maverick Forever glasses.
And we should have worn those to the movies when we went, but we did not.
I did.
Not when you went with me.
I thought I did.
We wore them to the theater. Okay, now we have our Jackie O Rockstar.
Okay, here we go. Jackie O Rockstar. This is sorry, paparazzi. No.
Exactly.
No cameras. No cameras. So what do your glasses say about you? I want to know. Lance already said he's a cop. Mine say I'm a cop. Okay. So what do yours say about you? I think we all have such different sunglasses. Unfortunately, I have too many pairs of them.
Yeah, I only brought 3 of the 12.
Oh, gosh, I'm not even going to say. These are the ones I get the best compliments on. And they're my cheapest ones I've ever bought in my life. So how about that? $3. $3.
That's the way it works.
Yeah. I mean, I think your style money doesn't matter what your style. Well, some people like the designer stuff. Yeah. I am not that. Those ones that these are Vogues, but when I wear them, I feel like they're too big for my face.
Don't they I kind of like them. I feel like you need a big sun hat though, since you're on the beach.
I'll need a big sun hat. Yes, that would be okay. So yeah, he wears the same. See, guys are more, practical, I think, about their sunglasses. What do you girls think? What are your favorite sunglasses, girls?
Ember, Izzy.
Yeah. What do you guys rock
say about you?
Yes. What does it say about you? Oh wow, my flamingos are really lit up.
The flamingos are ready to party.
Yeah, I know. They're chinking. The Chick Chat KC Chink.
Chat KC
Chink. Chink. We're just being silly now. We were serious there for a little while. I mean,
Yeah, we got to end the show on a
Ember, she has Audrey Hepburn style. Yes, love that. Love that. Tina is Do Not Disturb. Are they like dark and shaded, or are they reggae kind? I don't know. Yep. You love Justin Bieber ones. So, oh goodness. Something else popped up here. So you guys have been a great audience. We really appreciate you tuning in. I did try to stream this to our new page, but tonight it had a little technical difficulties, but we'll have that fixed by next week.
Well, I shared it there, so I think it's there.
Okay, great. Wonderful. So thank you guys. If you guys could go subscribe either to our YouTube channel or to our Facebook page, we would really, really appreciate that. Yeah. And so thank you guys for all of the lively comments tonight. And we hope that you're, evolving and setting your right boundaries and not getting discouraged in the dating world. Because, it can discourage you, but keep going and start working on yourself. If you feel like you're getting discouraged, that's when you take a break and you work on yourself.
I agree.
So, all right, you guys. We appreciate you,
guys.
And we will see you same time next week. And we really do appreciate you. So have a lovely day. Are we going to dance out? We got to dance out for a minute. Okay. Y'all got to dance with us, right? So can you hear it? All right. I think this is just always going to be our music. So we appreciate you guys. You guys have a wonderful rest of your Tuesday night, and we will see you next time. Chick Chat.
Bye, guys.
Peace out.